Alright, how's it going, guys? We're here for GPC. I haven't actually been, I've missed a bunch of uploads for GPC, so a little bit unfortunate for that. Hopefully in the future, I might actually get around to uploading them. I might put it all in just kind of one video, just get them all out, bang out all at once. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I'm hoping to kind of get back on track with uploading GPC stuff, because I did commit to that, so I do want to make sure to kind of follow up on that commitment. Anyways, though, this whole week, I suppose, was kind of rushed for me in terms of kind of Pokemon stuff. So this team right here is actually the team that I brought versus Melon, and the team that I brought versus Josh. It's I like the team anyways, so like it's not as if like that's something I'm really upset about, because I really did like the team. I think this is probably one of my well, I haven't really made very many teams for GPC, I guess, but I do think it's one of my better structured teams for GPC. So I am pretty happy about it. It does feature the Mega Abomasnow. I feel like a lot of times I would kind of shy away from bringing Mega Abomasnow, because as much as I love the Mon, I'm a bit of a pussy when it comes to kind of pulling the trigger with bringing some Mons like this. So I feel like if I didn't bring this team that was already structured with Abomasnow, there'd be a chance where I don't bring it. And I'm really glad they do bring it, because I think it has such solid matchup versus a lot of things. I think a lot of people don't really expect it to be as good as it can really be. So anyways, I get to bring a Bombstone, and I'm pretty happy about that. Let's really quickly talk about the team. I did bring this versus Melon, so people might recognize the team. We've got kind of a more bulky Latios. We have an unaware Clefable, which I actually forget. I thought I was Magic Guard in the middle of the game, but we are in fact unaware. We are Bloom Doom Defensive Rotom, which is something that I've, back in the day, I used to quite enjoy that set in RU, so I'm a pretty big fan of it. We have Rindoberry Crocodile, which I brought for 3 weeks, haven't been able to fucking use it once, a little bit unfortunate right there. Just a 4 attacks Mega Abomasnow, with obviously Ice Shard being the other attack. A lot of times I feel like I would be a lot better off with more mixed coverage as opposed to the like 3 special attacks plus Ice Shard, so that's definitely a thing. And then we are not a defensive, we're an offensive, obviously, Entei, but we do have leftovers and protect. We are of course a very, very offensive set. Now, really quickly before we get into the actual battle, I want to see what I thought about his team going into this, because he does have the Silvally, but you will notice that he doesn't actually have a fire resist, so that Silvally is 100% going to be a fire resist that can kind of take on the Entei. My initial thought was that maybe it is a Silvally water, but that just kind of really opens the door for a Abomasnow, so I was a little bit concerned if that's the kind of thing he wanted to bring. For the same reason, I thought Silvally Rock was a little bit disconcerting as well. But all those things being said, it's probably going to be something like a Silvally Fire. But if it is Silvally Fire, then if we get rocks up, then it is not really the best answer, because taking rocks, and even if I like miss a Sacred Fire, taking rocks is a pretty significant chunk. 25% off of the Silvally basically makes it not much of a counter in the future. So let's get into this game. I'm going to lead off with the Crocodile, because I kind of think he would want to lead off with either his, the Bug, the Whirlipede, as a potential kind of suicide lead if he really wants to. It also leads off pretty decently versus the Serena, which is the main issue, the main thing I thought he would lead with. I thought he might lead with the Serena. If it's something like Scarf, he can U-turn out, which is really nice. And, of course, I do have the Rindoberry, so this makes this a really good all-round lead. It also leads kind of well versus the Empoleon, although Sugarberry Empoleon is such a common set. It also kind of leads off nicely versus the Thundurus, which is pretty nice. So we actually catch the Silvally turn 1, get to see what it is, and of course we do see a Silvally Fire, so that's really nice. We get that information, throw up the rocks, and I do stay in here. I don't click counter because I assumed he would try to Rapid Spin. Actually just going to go for the knockoff. That works out pretty nicely. I can still take a Power Whip anyways with the Rindoberry there, so it's not really too big of an issue. We are, as I mentioned, a defensive Crocodile. So we're going to pull out the switch here into Entei, and that actually works really nicely because he pulls out into Serena this turn. So we keep rocks up for that turn, and we're at the very least, if nothing else, we're going to force the Silvally to take that Stealth Rock damage, which is really, really nice. And as I mentioned before, we are leftovers, so we are going to be getting a little bit of that back every turn. So that's actually a little bit more important than you kind of might think. Pull a switch here into the Latios. He's going to Parting Shot, which is nice. Parting Shots here out into the Serena. Now, Serena, most likely, of course, as I mentioned before, going to be going for that Rapid Spin, but Entei's still a solid switch. He doesn't really have the best switch-ins for this, and because he went for the Rapid Spin, he's going to be forced to switch into this move anyway. I'm pretty sure I do double into the Crocodile, thinking that he might go into the Silvally Fire on this turn, and thinking I could probably get my rocks up. Now, hindsight, getting rocks up here on this turn isn't really the best because I do have to defog eventually anyways. Like, obviously, this is a whirlipede. You know what it's going to do. It's going to throw up hazards. So I probably should have earthquake, just earthquake twice, being honest. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to get rid of rocks anyways. He has so many rock weaknesses. If we force him into something, then it's going to work anyways. Goes on to Serena on this turn, and I am going to click counter on this turn because we do know that he's Scarf. So if he stays in, we're going to be able to see that he goes for the Rapid Spin, and we can just get rocks up the second turn after that. We do counter, and I'm going to throw the rocks up the turn after as he pulls out into the Florges, which is alright for him. The unfortunate thing here is that I have to be switching into this Florges right here with all these hazards on the field, so I really don't like that. I actually go out into Fable because I kind of forget that I am unaware, not Magic Card, so that's why I switch in. I'm like, you know what, I can take this on anyways because I'm Magic Card, and that's when I remembered that I'm not actually Magic Card. So a little bit unfortunate that we do have to get poisoned right there, but that's not really too big of an issue because now that we realize we are Magic Card, we just have to stay out of range of a Nasty Plot Thunderous. So that's what we do. I'm going to protect first turn to see if he wants to go for the Rapid Spin or a U-turn. He actually goes for Rapid Spin, so this is now my opportunity to get rid of hazards entirely because he's got rid of mine. I can get them up later, but he can't get his up later. So yeah, getting rid of these is going to be super nice. We do know that he's locked into it, so that's awesome. We defog on the Empoleon switch in, and realistically speaking, I probably could have just tried to beat this 1v1 anyways. I'm actually HP Fire for something else, so if I did a little bit more prep for this team, I probably would have brought Earthquake or something along the lines of that. But anyways, I pull it into a Bomb Snow thinking he might go for the Toxic, which I don't want Laddie to get Toxic. I definitely don't. He could even go for the Rocks in this turn, which would be alright because I can kind of fire off Giga Drains after that. He doesn't really have the most solid switch-ins for that. And getting up Hail onto the Empoleon's nice because he can definitely start chipping away at things. Now, this is a very interesting turn, because way back in the day, I actually made fun of Chris for going for Quick Attack with Mega Pinsir on Serena and dying to HP Fire. I actually made HP Rock, excuse me. I actually made fun of him as a bit of a meme for going for that on that turn, but I actually make the exact same mistake right here. I don't think I was like paying as much attention to the game as I should have on this turn. Because I actually go for the Ice Shard on the Serena, which is really unfortunate. That's such a that's such an embarrassing play. That's not a play that should happen in like competitive games. So I feel really embarrassed about that as he gets a U-turn off. So yeah, if I went for Blizzard on the Silvally switch in, it would have done a pretty significant amount of damage. And obviously would have had to take Hail after that and stuff like that. So yeah, that's really embarrassing. Pull the switch out here into the Entei as he goes for the parting shot. It kind of pressures anything that wants to come in, so that's kind of works out. He does go into the Empoleon. I mean, we don't want to really be firing off Sacred Fires onto this. We definitely don't. I go for Protect, actually, to kind of see what he wants to go for, which is, again, another bad play on my part, because he does have the Stealth Rock. So, yeah, that was an unfortunate play on my part, but luckily, I think he goes for Thunderous on this turn, which is nice, because I am a more defensive variant of Lottie. I am more special defensive, so that's going to work out nice for me. Because I am Psychic, HP Fire, Defog Roost, and I don't really beat this down too easily with him being at 88%. So I do want to get a little bit of damage onto him first. After that, I can kind of beat him down with Lottie because he's a low enough amount of health. I can just kind of keep defogging, keep dealing him damage with Psychic or whatever. So it's good to get that damage off. The Bloom Doom, that's definitely the thing I wanted to get the Bloom Doom onto. If he went into the Florges, that would have been a little bit kind of unfortunate. But I definitely thought he might try to stay on that turn because me going for Volt Switch was pretty drawback free. And if I Volt Switched on the Empoleon, as he brought in something like Florges, I could definitely go into the Entei. And because Silvally is so low, he doesn't actually want that to ever happen. So like I said, Bloom Doom was definitely the right play right there. He makes a good play right here. I definitely 100% respect the move that he went for right here, going into Serena on the Volt Switch, because first of all, this covered me going for Bloom Doom, this covered me going for Volt Switch, and the reason it covers me going for Volt Switch is because I can't go into Lottie's Defog. This basically forces me out into the Entei to make me take Stealth Rocks damage. So that's actually a very good play. I'm actually a huge fan of that now. I could Protect for leftovers. That's kind of the dank play, but that's not what I'm going to do because I don't want him to hard switch into Silvally. So I just fire off the Sacred Fire. Yeah, he crits me, which is pretty unfortunate. That's going to be less Moonblasts I can take overall, but what can you do? Now, he goes for Nasty Plot here and fires off the Sludge Wave. Now, the fact that I'm unaware Clefable is actually really cool, because I am 100% of the time out of range of +2 special attack Sludge Wave. We saw he's not Life Orb, so that's definitely really nice. So I am for sure out of range of the Sludge Wave. So I couched everything, I went to checked everything, and yeah, for sure I can definitely take this on. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty happy about being unaware like on this turn. Wasn't so happy when I got Toxics, but yeah, now that I realized I was unaware, I do realize that I do have this opportunity to force him out. Thundurus is actually a very scary Pokemon, but having dual priority in the back is going to be my best way of dealing with this. So yeah, Saki Rotom is 100% better than going for anything else, like going into, trying to go into a Bomb Snow on like a Thunderbolt or something like that would definitely be a bad play. I'm not going to protect on a, I'm not going to protect to try to scout for the Electrium Z move. I'm not, especially because I have a Crocodile. I kind of am less inclined to believe that he would be Gigavolt Havoc, because he could just blow his Z move entirely on the Crocodile. So yeah, for that reason, I don't have to really scout or anything. I'm just going to fire off a Moonblast. I'm slowly going to be getting out. I'm slowly going to be getting in range of that +2 attack soon anyway, but just being able to force him out at least once is really, really nice. He doesn't really set up on anything else after that. He doesn't really set up on Lottie, doesn't set up on Clef, doesn't set up, I mean, he can set up on Entei, I guess, but he risks taking a big hit. So yeah, that's basically why he doesn't really have a good time setting up on anything else. Now, because he's at 30%, I can actually always go back into Lottie and Defog. Every time he roars, every time he does stuff like that, I just get leftovers back, and he's eventually going to roar me out into something that can kill him, like the Entei right here, which is really nice. So it brings us into the Thundurus now. Because this is Thundurus, because Entei is like my premier way of getting through that Florges, I don't actually want to go for the extreme speed right here, and it works out because obviously he doesn't nasty plot. So yeah, like I said, this Pokemon's scary, but trying to think long term, the Florges is actually very, very threatening, and I can't like I have to save my physical attackers, because if it's a Calm Mind Florges, it can actually be a pretty big issue. So that's why I saved the Entei. That's why Crocodile, even Crocodile, which is more a defensive Crocodile right here, both those Pokemon have a lot of potential to preventing that sweep. Plus, I've got Hail in the back as well, which is going to be really nice for stopping that. So we do come in on Thunderbolt, and he gets the paralysis, which is really unfortunate. That's definitely really unfortunate, and he gets the full para right here. So I had two opportunities. I would have, without like luck, I would have had potentially like 2 opportunities to get a Psychic off on this. Obviously, once on the switch in, and then once if I outsped him without the paralysis. So definitely unfortunate right there. It does, I do get a little bit of luck back, so I think it's completely justified. The paralysis that I got and the full pair that I got, I kind of get it back in a few turns, so I'm very happy about that. He is going to scout for Toxic, I think, because I guess he doesn't have I would assume he doesn't have Aromatherapy. I mean, Aromatherapy doesn't even really beat Toxic 1v1 anyways, but I guess he was scouting, like, the fact that I'm Toxic kind of does mean that, but anyways, I'm assuming he's scouting for something like Toxic along the lines of that, which is why he went out into the Cell Alley. I just wanted to Thunder Wave him so he's slower than my Mega Bomb Snow, because I'm pretty sure I'm minus speed and shit on my Bomb Snow. But anyways, we do get the full paralysis right here, as you'll see, and I'm going to try to pull the switch out into Entei. Then she goes for Roar, which is pretty cool. That's the first time you reveal that. That's really nice because I get it into Crocodile right here, and yeah, that's really nice. I can throw Rocks up right here because, like I said before, I need to, actually I didn't say before, but what I need to do, my game plan, is I need to get this Thundurus in range of Ice Shard. So Rocks up mean that, Rocks up plus the knockoff actually are going to mean that he is in range of the Ice Shard. So that's super nice. I can just sack Clef right here because, like I said, the unaware Clef was there primarily to just get a single hit off from Thundurus and put him in range of the Ice Shard. Now that he's in range of the Ice Shard, I can just go, say this, go into the Bomb Stone the turn after, and click the Ice Shard. Now, if I was a little bit smarter with the EVs and in terms of the prep and stuff, I could have made this a Bomb Snow fast enough to outspeed Silvally after paralysis, but I didn't, so I do have to go into Croak on this turn, and he gets full parried, which kind of gives me a little bit of justice back, because without the para on Lottie, he would have been in range anyways of dying from there. So yeah, I feel like it's completely justified getting my paralysis. I'll trade that for his paralysis. So that's really nice. Earthquake is doing way too much, and Sacred Fire is obviously going to be doing a lot more. So there's no way he can Calm Mind up enough to put him like out of range of the Sacred Fire, because he would always have had to take the Earthquake, which is 40-ish damage anyway, so that damage plus the Sacred Fire is always going to be doing just way too much for him. Plus, I was going to be in range of living Moonblast and stuff. Would have been in range of living boosted Moonblasts if I hadn't gotten crit from the knockup as well. So that's really nice right there. Plus, one more thing, obviously, is that we do have Hail up right now. We do have Hail so that we can reset up on the Florges. So if it's a Synthesis Florges, it can't even beat anything anyways, because the healing in itself is going to be severely gimped while trying to click Synthesis in a Hail. You get that reduced healing. So that in itself is nice. So the 4 Pokemon that I had left was going to be likely enough to stop any type of Florges that he had. If it was Wish Protect, it was still just not going to be enough anyways. So that was the game. Pretty fun game. I definitely always like being able to see a Bomb Snow do some things. It was a fun game, and yeah, I'm glad I got to see my opponent finally bring the Whirlipede. I don't think he's brought it before, so props on him for finding that opportunity to bring it. I definitely agree with the Silvally. Silvally Fire makes a lot of sense, but the fact that he had to be switching into Stealth Rocks to check the Entei meant that the Entei was just, it was able to weaken it down very, very quickly. But fun game, and hopefully I will be able to keep up to date with all my uploads in the future. So I'll see you guys next week.